An LS into a Blazer is an easy swap, but in a 4x4, almost impossible. Today, Horsepower brings back Rick Bacon's 4x4 Blazer for the impossible mission.
How do you put LS power into an old Blazer without money to burn? We brought Rick Bacon's 98 4x4 in for the challenge, and it started with the purchase of an $800 used LS motor snatched from a truck. We recruited some extra hands for this conversion. Scott Hamlin's made the LS swap in lots of old trucks, although never a 4x4. So he was riding the learning curve along with us.
Nope. Way off.
No denying there was a massive amount of surprises and mods to make, especially with the H3 style oil pan that underwent several surgeries and welding before the LS finally had clearance enough to drop into place.
All right, ease down a little bit.
Just to make sure the stock 4L60 trans could handle the extra power, we brought in Andy Mays to help install a TCI upgrade kit.
So far, this project's been worse than a night in jail. And it might get worse before it gets better. Now the next big challenge is with our exhaust. Now we went ahead and got a couple different sets of tube headers to try out, but unfortunately they didn't fit too well, just like everything else in this project. So that leads us to these, a set of 98-99 F-body Camaro manifolds. Now they're a lot more compact, so they'll be easier to fit, but just like everything else with this project, they need some work too. So here we go again. Since these manifolds are made of steel instead of iron, it's easier to just cut off the heat shields, the flanges, and the EGR tubes. And after grinding them smooth, I can blast them clean and get them ready to go on. Does it fit? Does it clear? Steering shaft and the front drive shaft is going to be the clearance issues.
By looking at it, I think it should clear. We'll soon see.
All right, here we go. Everything's good? Clears?
Everything looks great. Looks like we've got about a ½ inch of clearance.
Cool.
Good as gold.
Let's see if our luck holds out for the rest of the exhaust.
We're gonna have to go underneath this drive shaft.
We'll have to go between the torsion bar and the drive shaft.
Come down, roll it over, and go that way and merge the pipes together as they go back. Making custom exhaust is tedious and time consuming, but actually, I enjoyed the challenge. Trial fit that one time?
Yeah, let's make sure. Better be safe than sorry.
Yep.
Especially with this project.
Yeah, up in that area too. Now to make it easier, we started out with a universal exhaust kit from Magnaflow. It's on the frame, bell housing, so with lots of fitting, bending, cutting, and TIG welding, what I envision should become reality. Cool. When you guys hear the word TIG welding, a lot of you guys get afraid and steer clear, but there's no reason to do that. I sucked when I first started, but with a lot of practice, got pretty decent. If you have access to a TIG machine, go ahead, grab a couple pieces of scrap metal, make sure you have the right tungsten and filler rod, and practice. Who knows, when you get good enough, you'll have a lot of admirers on nice clean welds. Now before the exhaust manifolds get bolted up, we have another issue to address. The two rear coil packs are too close to the heater box and the brake booster. So we'll have to mount them below the headers directly onto the firewall. But that's not the end of our clearance issues.
Anybody who's ever done a conversion with a V8 know that you've got 2 more additional cylinders under the hood, so they're going to be mounted forward so everything gets close to the radiator.
The solution? A more compact Corvette accessory drive from Geo Performance. It's all designed to tighten things up and save as much space as possible. And since the stock AC compressor mounts too low to clear the frame, we can raise it with a kit from Current Performance that comes with an efficient yet pint-sized compressor from Sandon. Well, leave it to Scott to pick the easiest part of this project.
There you go.
Welcome back. Hey, what's a 94 Geo Tracker glorified go-kart like this got to do with today's LS conversion? Well, bear in mind, these things were powered at the factory with a 1.6 liter, 80 horsepower engine. But not anymore. You're right, it is an LS, and right again, Scott's the one who did it.
The Tracker?
The question is, why?
Geo Tracker, well, number 1 is to be unique. Number 2 is there's not another tracker on the planet like it. It's a fast go-kart, that's all I can say it is.
Now, with so much go in this little Geo, Scott wisely built a roll cage for it. To modify the looks, he gave it a pretty impressive rattle can paint job.
It turns more heads than any other vehicle I've had. When you pull up beside somebody and they look at it and say, oh, a cute little Geo, until you pull up the red light and walk off and leave them.
Well, that was a first for Scott, and we're on our way to another one with Rick's 4x4 Blazer. With the engine clearance dealt with, we can finish up underneath. The transfer case, and both stock drive shafts. Now Mike can create the rest of the exhaust. Scott's been using every inch of our overstuffed engine compartment. The compressed accessory setup helped, but these fans from Summit will need to mount in front of the core support with a little help. Making things fit takes skill. Making things shine takes dedication.
First impressions are lasting impressions. When somebody raises the hood of it, they not only see the motor sitting in there, but they also see the surrounding area. It all flows together.
Thanks, Mike. About time you helped out.
I'm just watching you work hard. There's this thing that they developed a long time ago called compressed air. Air compressors, air hoses, air tools. You want me to get you one?
No, I like to do it old school.
When I asked Scott to help, I should have asked him how many years it took to build the tracker.
How come every panel I look on this truck, it says Scott Hamlin 2010?
It just says on this right here. Because I painted it.
You ready for the radiator?
I'm ready.
Let's go.
With a few quick cuts, we can reuse the stock shroud. Well, not quite. Looks like Scott's planning another autograph. Now with tape for a straight edge, a razor for a scribe, and a saw, he makes piano keys out of the unwanted section. Pretty clever, eh?
A little trimming.
Very nice, Mr. Hamlin. Cool, making some headway. Finally.
Only a few clearance issues left, and this one took care of itself.
This truck intake that came with the motor is a lot larger by design to make torque compared to this F-body intake, which makes more horsepower. Now it's a full 5.5 inches shorter, so we can close the hood. It's essential that we use Loctite anti-seize on all the engine bolts to keep them from locking up.
Next up is the harness we got from Current Performance. It's designed specifically for stuffing an LS into an S10 Blazer or truck. Looks like they did their homework.
This engine came to us with this electronic throttle body because the original vehicle was equipped with an electronic throttle. Now since this vehicle is equipped with a cable, we're swapping to this throttle body, which is a little narrower and not as bulky, plus it'll give us a little extra clearance between here for the air inlet tube.
Now the 6 remaining coil packs. We had to mount the 2 rear packs underneath onto the firewall. Current provided enough leeway inside the harness to make the reach. We're ready for the computer, which fits on top of the coolant overflow tank, which no longer fits. A simple cut and patch? Not for Scott. Applying some serious heat will soften it up enough to reshape it. Before you try anything like this, make sure the tank is made of polypropylene, which usually is identified by the letters PPS. Other plastic materials can easily break. You gotta hand it to him. The extra time he takes does make a difference.
Me moonwalk.
Plus, it makes him happy. We're back, and after Scott's meltdown, both of them, Mike's making a bracket to mount the stock computer that came with our used engine. The only spare room left under this hood is directly over Scott's artwork.
Then we connect the new harness to the computer, which is the easy part. But we also have to cut and make connectors for several wires from the factory harness that control the gauges, warning lights, and so forth. These also have to be attached to the computer.
No way a battery's gonna fit under this hood, so we're mounting a new Optima battery out back with the help of a kit from Rusty's. To feed it the juice, some of Excel's lightning cables made of a lightweight copper-coated aluminum. LS engines produce some serious steam in their heads. This stock radiator is getting modified to accept that pressure.
Getting air to the throttle body is going to require even more fabrication. All right, what's your idea?
See if it works.
See if it works. For that, we're using some make-it-yourself pieces we had on hand from Spectre Performance, including a high-flow air filter. You don't think that's going to be too high?
No, it'll be plenty of clearance. Plenty, plenty, plenty. Now that everything fits, it's time to lay some paint. Let's go. I guess I'll hold this for about an hour until it dries. Where do I set this?
That is why they invented respirators. Well, it looks like we reached the exit ramp on this road trip. Everything that's left won't need modification or paint. With NICs on our E3 plugs, fuel lines attached, and crossed fingers, it's time.
Baconator.
Sounds good. But for only about 3 seconds.
You know what that is, don't you? Anti-theft. No, the anti-theft. Is it? Anti-theft. We've yet to program the PCM. All right. Grasshopper. So let's go.
Is it really feeding back through it?
Yeah, the anti-theft will kill it.
I just thought that was built into the key and through the stereo and the system.
No, the PCM has its own built-in VATs. You have to go under delete
Turn
that,
it down.
turn it off, switch it off. Because you can sit there, we'll do it again. You can try to keep it running and kill it.
Kill it, right.
You don't believe me, do you?
Yeah. I believe it. Fix it.
Let's fix it.
We're going to use this HP Tuner VCM suite to load a compatible file to let the VCM communicate with the vehicle's functions. After making a few choices like year, make, model, and engine size, I can get a file from the HP Tuner's depository that I can download into the laptop. And from the laptop, load the file into the engine's VCM. Now, one thing we'll also have to do is use the program to relink the VATS, or Vehicle Anti-Theft System. Also, we're going to tell the VCM that we have 2 fans and set the on and off temps. I can even check to see if the fans are working, along with things like the AC compressor and even the fuel pump.
Well, sounds like the LS approves of its new jam-packed dig.
Like that.
Well, that deserves a toast. But wait, there's more.
This project was by far the most challenging we've done in a while. Now, the amount of modifications seemed endless. But we got it in, and we fired it up.
I can be your hero, baby.
Yes, you can.
All right.
Sure thankful Scott came along for the ride.
Still can't get it?
Oh yeah, I can get it from tailgate now.
He's got just enough time to help us put it back together.
One more finishing touch, a pair of stock coil pack covers, like most everything else, modified to fit.
You know, if you're going to take the time to spend the money to put this motor in, why not take just a few extra minutes to make it look right? The best part is putting the coil covers on because you know you're done.
The worst part?
The worst part was taking the motor out because you're just getting started.
Scott will be remembered. He saw to that. We also remember a problem we found when Rick delivered his Blazer. During the baseline dyno run, it was obvious how warped those steel wheels had become. So we're replacing them with a set of Mickey Thompson Baja radios wrapped around a set of their much cooler HR2 aluminum wheels. It's easy to see why these LS conversions are so popular now, even one as uniquely complex as the Blazer. It's a bigger engine than the V6 Rick was running, but should provide much more fuel economy as well as more power.
295, 300.
If we can hit 295, I would be ecstatic. That'd be a whole bunch of motor for that little Blazer, dude. Yeah, it sounds good.
Hey, what do you think about 313?
313 first pole.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
313, Mike.
Nice, I like that.
Think you can handle that with this Blazer?
Oh yeah, I can handle that.
Let's run it again, see if we will pick up any more.
It looks like it's gonna jump off the dyno.
That 313 is still our best number,
13.
which is way over 140.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
You gonna be happy, you think?
Yeah. Oh yeah, probably get better gas mileage too.
In a way, this project was like trying to make your butt fit into your shoes. Was it worth it? Well, there's your answer. Would we do it again? No. Did you know that interchangeable sockets have been around since the mid-1800s? And while the concept's basically the same, a lot of improvements have come along to make them work better. Well, like Matco's new ADV sockets that set a new standard. They're made from hardened steel alloy and have a design feature they call OptiTorque. This means more torque is applied to the sides of the fasteners, reducing chances of round off. They're also designed to work in tight areas and feature a 150-degree opening for a better grab. They have highly visible markings and come in a wide variety of configurations and styles, from 1/4 inch to 1 inch, and a lifetime warranty from Matco. Well, that's our show for now. See you next time.